This is Kathy Biehl of Empowermentunlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of December 3rd, 2018. And we're off. The last month of the year, the last holiday season of the year are launching with a bang, with exuberance, with a tremendous amount of energy, with invitations flying and ideas of what you want to do, you got to do. Oh, isn't this fun? Impulses to socialize, to do things you haven't done before, to travel. It's as if the adolescent part of ourselves is reawakening and running around feeling indestructible and wanting to just do whatever it wants to do and wanting to indulge pranks and whims and just simply having fun. Fun, you say? What's that? Where's that? Well, I will admit there hasn't been a whole lot of it, but we're going to make up for lost time. The week begins with nostalgia, with binge watching, with realizing how maybe you've been duped or you've been fooling yourself, with diving into sugar, with finding excuses for wine o'clock to come much earlier every day. And while we're off in our own personal la-la lands, communication begins to clear up ever so slightly. Mercury, the planet that rules communication and how we get around, stations direct on the 6th. He's still at the end of deep, dark, powerful, insightful Scorpio. He does not return to Sagittarius until next week. So for now, there could be really interesting insights bubbling up from the past, from the deep, from dark corners, from closets. And that will definitely be all over the news. The week ends with a most exuberant new moon, a fresh start. The Sagittarius new moon on December 6th or 7th, depending on where you are. And boy, is it supersized. Sagittarius is the most free-flying energy in the zodiac. It does not want to be contained at all. It wants to travel all over creation. Do not fence it in. Highly curious, garrulous, outgoing, joking. And this new moon is a time to dream outlandishly big. Ignore limits, at least on a mental level. Push boundaries, push what you're capable of, push what you think is possible in your life. There's a recurrence and moving on streak to this new moon that harkens back to the end of February, February 21st to be precise. February was a weird time, and Valentine's Day did not feel like Hallmark tells us it should. But February 21st brought sweetness and a sense of possibility and magic and maybe even love in all its potentials. It definitely was wish upon a star time. That was a meeting between the two planets of love and creativity and inspiration, Venus and Neptune. And now this week, Mars meets with Neptune. Mars, the guy who goes out and gets what our heart wants. The planet of action, the cosmic first responder, the masculine impulse, fuses with the Lord of transcendence and higher love. Something could come in that is a manifestation of what you glimpsed or tasted on February 21st. Now, that was an extremely subtle vibe. You may have no memory at all of anything. It's very possible that nothing got your attention, but do notice what feels like an impulse now. This vibe is fused into the new moon. It's pushing us to be idealistic, to stretch, to be unrealistic. It is terrific energy for creativity, artistry, relationships. It's also the stuff of magic. Make wishes with the certainty you had when you were a little kid that gifts were going to show up on schedule. No matter what holiday you celebrated, odds are great that December brought an outpouring of gifts. Your attitude as a child was that they were expected. They were your due simply for existing. Step into that mode now. Be idealistic, be unrealistic. Make wishes like crazy. Which leads to the homing thought of the week. Make a wish. Heck, make a bunch of them. Song of the week. In honor of Jupiterian excess, I have 3. Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, Magic Man by Heart, and I Like Life from the 1970 Albert Finney movie Scrooge. And the image of the week is writing a letter to Santa. You'll find more about all of this in my forecast for the Sagittarius new moon, which is already up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and get a Jupiter and Sagittarius quick reference guide as a thank you and book a session with me. You'll also find more in my blog post, Real Life Magic, featuring Saint Nick. Look for the link in the description. And in my article for medium.com, always look on the bright side of life. And bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, where you can join lots of people who are keeping Astro-Insight from going behind a paywall for as little as $1 a month. You pay more than that for coffee. And doesn't this podcast have a longer effect on you than caffeine? Talk to you next week.